share my screen. Entire screen. Okay, can you see my screen? Um, is there any response tool in chat box? Okay, if you can hear my screen, please raise your hand. Example like this. Okay, thank you for all the response. Nurul, Camelia, Auni, Dauni, Fatin. Okay, so I think everything is okay now. So as you guys know, um, I'm Dr. Muhammad Fadil bin Marsani. Okay, so today I would like to share something related to correlation analysis. Okay, I think before I start, maybe I can introduce myself lah. Kan, maybe people said kalau tak kenal maka tak cinta. Okay, saya Dr. Muhammad Fadil bin Marsani from School of Mathematical Science, University Sains Malaysia, di Pulau Pinang lah. Think maybe some of you also come from Penang. Ada siapa-siapa dari Pulau Pinang? Can you raise your hand? Encik Hanafi dari Pulau Pinang. Okay, how about the rest? I hope during my sharing I can see some interaction with you, and I hope you can give some response so that I know you are here. Kan kita buat online class, so your response is very appreciated lah, so that we know everyone still here and you still follow me. Okay, yeah, I'm Dr. Muhammad Fadil from School of Math. Here is my email and my website. If you go to my website, okay, you can see more background about myself lah. I'm actually do my PhD at University Technology Malaysia, my master in UKM, and my degree at University Science Malaysia. All right, and maybe before we start, I can share a little bit about my research interest. I think everyone know lah, as a lecturer, we need to do research at the same time together with teaching the subject related to our area, of course. But for me, my research interest currently, I'm focusing more on some statistical analysis method, and it is more on environmental statistics. Okay, currently my data set I use water level, rainfall, and some pollution data set, right? And I focus more on applying some machine learning method and some prediction model also lah. There is for short term and long term prediction, right? So that's a little bit about myself. Without further ado, let's go with our topic today, which is correlation analysis and coefficient of correlation. Okay, this is my outline of my presentation. Okay, I'm categorized into 6 different parts. Okay, the first one I will discuss. I will give you some brief introduction about what is the correlation, and then we will see the fundamental thing inside the correlation. Okay, what is independent variable? What is the dependent variable? And then there is 2 approach. Actually, we can see the correlation. One is from scatter diagram, and another one through the coefficient. Okay, so we will discuss that part also, how we can see the correlation among two variable by using scatter diagram. And the most important part, I also will share with you some important uh, measurement in measuring the correlation. One we call it as Pearson correlation, and another one is Spearman correlation. Right. So let's go with uh, this first part. All right. Before that, I think here is my expectation. Okay. I'm not sure how to close this. Okay. Let me. I think I need to close my window. Okay, so in my sharing today, this is my expectation. So throughout my lecture today, I hope every student here can take the note as many as you can. I think now you have the notebook. Last time we just used the pen and paper. So I hope you can start taking note as many as you can. At the same time, um, during my presentation also, you can also ask me the question. You can interrupt me and ask me question. So I will try my best to answer all your question. And at the end of this class, maybe we can do a little bit tutorial and exercise so that you can understand better about the correlation coefficient, okay, about this topic. Okay, before we go further, maybe I can see some information about my audience today, lah. Right? So I believe everyone online here use your laptop, or maybe you use your tab. You can see your text on the chat box. You can write your information on the chat box. Please write some information about yourself. Okay, first, can you write your name, your school, which program are you, what year are you, and what is your expectation in joining this class? Can you write on the text box? Okay, your name Umairah Batrisha, I know your name already here, but can you please write some information? I wanted to know whether you are in what program and what study level are you and why you joining this class today. Okay, thank you, Dayanku Kairina. Uh, yeah, can you write what is current study level are you now? Are you doing a degree, master, or you are doing diploma? Okay, thank you for the response, Dayanku Kasih Khadijah Umaira. Izati, Maizatu. Okay, thank you Alia Hanisa Helmi dari UiTM Segamat. So I believe this is your subject lah. You need to take CS 143 diploma. Okay. So all of you taking diploma program, yeah? So again, thank you Nurin, Alia Nisa, Umaira, Kristina Balkis, dan Nur Iza, Alia Rauda, Nurin Batrisha. All right. So I think I hope to gain more knowledge. Okay. Thank you, Camelia, Najwa. I hope too that I can share some knowledge with you guys, and I hope that knowledge can be beneficial for your uh, subject that you learn throughout this semester. At the same time, in your future, for your future, how you can apply this knowledge. Right. So thank you everyone for writing your response here. Thank you Atifa, Putri, Nuriza, Nurafika, Dawiyah. Right, so I can conclude that all the audience today is come from CS 143, UiTM Segamat, and registered under diploma program. But yeah, it's just I can see one student from one male student lah, Muhammad Azrullah. Thank you. I think you are the first one who respond in chatbot. I hope I can get more participant from female male student. Adib Rifuat, yeah, Adib. Thank you for the response. So before I start, also may I know currently you are in semester or revision week or what? You are beginning of semester or at the end of the semester? Can I see some response from you? End of semester. Uh, have you complete with the exam? You've taken your exam this semester? For final exam, not yet. So this your semester is ongoing, still ongoing. Because in USM currently we are on revision week. So if you come to USM right now, some of students already going back to hometown. Some of them just stay at the room lah, prepare for their exam. So at the campus, you can hardly to see the student lah, because students mostly may stay at their hostel. And next week, USM, we will have our first week of examination. This week is the final week before study week. All right, so I think maybe the timing almost the same, but maybe USM 1 week earlier compared than your program. Okay, for the thank you for all the response today, and so that now I know my audience better. Right. So for today's sharing, I would like to share with you guys about the correlation analysis. Okay. For me, this is the actual most common analysis technique lah. Normally, student can apply, especially during when you're doing the research, especially for final year project. Do you need to do any final year project? If this term is first time you heard, final year project is like conducting one mini project where you need to do some research lah. Okay, you need to apply whatever that you learn throughout this program lah, from subject that you taken from first semester until the last semester. And for the final year project, you need to apply all the knowledge. You can choose any topic lah, from the knowledge that you gain and create one mini research before you end your study. So may I know, all of you, do you need to conduct the final year project? Perlu ke? Oh, okay. So untuk diploma tidak perlu lakukan final year project. Thank you, Dr. Basri, for letting me know. At the same time, is there any assignment that you need to conduct? I hope I can get some response from the student too. Any volunteer to respond? All right. So you need to no need for you to do any assignment. So you just need to focus on examination lah, or test. All right. So yeah, thank you for all the information. Okay, I think for starting from undergraduate study for degree, in USM especially, we need to conduct the final year project lah. So maybe some of you already have planned to continue. So I think you gain today might be beneficial lah in your future, okay? Especially when you wanted to continue your degree. And at the same time, I 100% encourage lah everyone here to continue study. I think now, yeah, you can explore more lah, the knowledge. Okay. At the same time, you can have better opportunity lah when you continue or pursuing your study. Right. So yeah, we go back to our topic today, which is correlation analysis. Since you just need to apply this in your exam, I think we still will discuss more this part in. We will try to cover based on the exercise and tutorial. But based on my experience, okay, this topic is very important. But still, when we come to undergraduate level for degree student, I can see some of the students still not clear about the concept, and some of them still misunderstood about the correlation analysis. Okay. So in this topic, in this class, I will cover on what actually is correlation analysis, and then what does this correlation actually means lah. We will go in detail about the correlation coefficient or method that we can use, and what is the specific method that we need to use when we come to different situation. Okay, where we should use the Spearman, when we need to apply the Pearson correlation, and then how the value inside the correlation coefficient actually telling us, right? So to avoid any confusion, so we will see in detail about the relation between X and Y, right? So let me share again my screen. Okay, so let's start with the fundamental definition about what is the correlation analysis. Okay, so correlation analysis is the situation where the two variables can relate to each other in some way. Yeah, in some ways, when an increase in one variable cause another variable to increase, these two variables are said to have positive relation. Okay, for example, if we take the situation between sugar price and food price, what do you think is, if sugar price is increased, what will happen to the food price? So this is uh, the one that we wanted to understand in correlation analysis lah. Whenever sugar price increase, what will happen to the food price? So in this case, in common situation, we can say, if sugar price is increased, food price also will increase because they need to cover the cost of that sugar price. Okay, this actually happened during last time when the government increased the shilling of sugar price. The food price also can, we can expect the food price also can increase, right? So another thing, we can say, for the correlation analysis, for negative correlation, when an increase of one variable, okay, may also cause another variable to decrease. Okay, so this time when we just use x, let's say x is increasing, your y will decrease. So these two variables are said to have negative relationship. Okay, later we can see when we wanted to discuss about this relation by through through the plot. Okay, example, for negative relationship, we can say when energy price and company profit. Okay, let's see the situation when the company, when this company focus on delivering the parcel. I think we have so many company nowadays to deliver your parcel. For example, we have JNT, Shopee, what we call JNT, Post Laju, and what's not, right? So let's say energy price, let's say petroleum price is increasing. So it will affect the company profit lah. Since last time the cost only, let's say, 2 ringgit. So now they need to increase the cost to 2 ringgit 30 cents. So this 30 cent will affect the company margin of profit lah. So in this case, if the petrol price is increased, so the company profit will decrease lah. So this is how we can measure the relation between two variables. And measuring these two variables, we use the term of correlation. All right. So later we can see in detail about the measurement of this correlation. All right. So to measure the strength of the relationship between these two variables, okay, we must know what is the independent variable and also what is the dependent variable. Okay, so only two variable is needed in correlation analysis. Okay, independent variable, we use x to represent independent variable, and for dependent variable we use y lah. Okay, so independent variable provide the basis for estimation. So we start with independent variable first to estimate what will happen to your response variable, which is your dependent variable. Okay, so we call y as dependent variable because y variable is depend on x. So that's why we call y is dependent and x as independent. Okay, in Malay, y is pemboleh ubah bersandar, x is pemboleh ubah bebas. Okay, another example that we can take from to see the relation between two variables. Okay, first let's see the relation between age of respondent and blood pressure. Okay, before okay, for this part, we know x is representing the age and y is the blood pressure. Okay, so logically we know lah, as we increase our age, okay, that time we might receive more disease. Okay, for example, like blood pressure. So we can say when your age is increasing from 20 to 30, so we normally common thing happen is blood pressure also increase. So the relation between X and Y, we can say that when our age is increased, our blood pressure, the measurement of our blood pressure also might be increased. So for the first situation, this is example of positive correlation. How about the second one? So for the second one, can you write on the text box what is the association between income and expenditure? Can you write on the text box? What do you think for the second part here? What is the relationship between X and Y? Is it positive, negative? Okay, I still waiting for the response. What do you think? What is the correlation between income and expenditure? Okay, so thank you for the response. So I believe you still following me. Okay, positive. So most of the answer received is positive. Okay, so that is the correct answer. Okay, that is the common thing will happen. Uh, okay, when we have higher income, we tend to spend more when we have higher income. Okay, I think there is normal thing will happen. When your income is very high, you tend to buy a more luxury car. Maybe you going to buy more luxury car lah, for example, Mercedes, BMW. But how about the low income? Okay, maybe you just use your expenditure is not very high lah. You just use the normal car, or maybe you tend to not go to holiday. So this is the example of the relation. So I believe everyone already clear about what is independent variable and dependent variable. So another situation, if you wanted to see the relation between hour of study and the statistics score, so normally what will happen? Okay, so for this one, we can say positive correlation also. The more you study, the better understanding you have, and the more probability you can score that test. Nah. Age of operator and number of unit back produced. Okay, so for this situation, we can say maybe there is negative correlation. Okay, as our age is getting older, okay, maybe you have less energy. So in terms of production, maybe will reduce. So as your age increase, your back produce will decrease. Okay, so for that, maybe we can do some activity. Okay. For that activity, I need you to scan this QR code. Okay, you scan this QR code, and after you scan this QR code, it will bring you to another link lah, where we the activity link where we wanted to see some example of correlation in daily life lah. So I need your opinion or your answer about what is another example of correlation in daily life. Can you scan this one? If you can join through this QR code, can you please write on the text box yes? Okay. I believe if you scan that QR code, it will bring you to this new uh, link, this website, padlet.com. Okay, so maybe we take 5 minutes to do this activity.
Semua wajib buat ke?
Macam marah je. Ya, semua wajib buat. So can you scan this QR code, and then you will go back. You will go to this website lah. Okay, so can you give one situation that you think what is example of correlation between two variables? Okay, the objective we want to explore the correlation in daily life. So you need to identify and pose the pair of variable from everyday life, and you can write whether it's positive or negative correlation. Okay, for example, this one I already post here. Let's say X is your sweet drink, and then Y is your weight, your body weight. Okay, in daily life we know, based on the medical information, as you drink more, you take more sugar, it will affect your body weight. So there is positive correlation between sweet drink and also the weight. Another example, when for the negative correlation, as you increase the time for you to do the exercise, you will reduce your weight. So this is another situation in daily life. So for that, can I see some response from you? Can you write on the text? Can you go to this QR code, scan here, and please write something. What is your idea about situation of correlation in daily life? I still waiting for the first response. You can click this part if you want to write your answer. You click this, and then you can write anything. What is the answer? Okay. For example, what is your X, and then what is your Y, and you can write the correlation. Is it positive or negative? And it will appear here after you do your comment, when you write your response. Okay, I will show you again the QR. Okay, still waiting for the first responder. Can you respond? I still haven't received any response from you. Maybe, yeah, I can give you 1 minute. You can open this link by scanning this code, and after that, it will bring you to this link. So please write your insight about this activity. I wanted to know, what do you think about correlation in our daily life?
Sir, we cannot edit the board.
Can you edit the board? Let me check. Let me check. Okay, I'm not sure, but I think I already received one of the response. It's come from Adam Arshad. So thank you, Adam Arshad. I think everyone can give clap a hot hand, can give a round of applause to Adam Arshad. He is the first student to reply or to give the response. Yeah, the response here: food eaten and weight positive correlation. Okay, thank you, Adam Rashad. That is correct answer. I think everyone can agree lah. The more you eating your food, the more heavy you will become. Okay, your weight will increase. Right. So yeah, thank you, Dang, for giving the applause. So please everyone, can you give an applause to Adam? I hope I can receive more response from you. Okay, great. Uh, I think one way for you to write the response, you can click here, and then this is how I do lah. I'm not sure why some of you still have problem. Maybe you need to log in to your Gmail, but I think I already changed the setting lah, to be for everyone can be allowed to write the response. Okay, thank you, Liana. instant noodle with, okay, the more you eat the noodle, it will also affect your weight. Okay, so mostly more study, less mistake in exam. Yes, there's another good example from Auni and also Liana. Okay, more study means that more time for you to do the study lah. So more hour in focus for your study. So you tend to, we can associate that you will have more marks lah if you wanted to measure in a numerical, right? So this would be a negative correlation lah if you use this measurement. The higher you study, the less the mistake. But if you use study and the score, there will be positive correlation lah. But still, I understand your situation, and that is correct. Thank you, Quarismi. Hot weather, sweat. Yes, there is a positive correlation lah. Hot weather, the more hot you tend to produce more sweat lah. Okay, there is another example of positive correlation. A charismatic fly. Maybe you use anonymous name. Uh, Again, thank you for the response. So the answer regarding electricity and electric bill. Okay, this one is all the perfect correlation. It will be perfect positive correlation. The more consumption in electricity, you just turn on the aircon, so you will tend to get higher bill. Okay, education level, work salary. Oh yeah, this is another good example from Nadia. Okay, the higher you work, the higher you pursuing your study, okay, you tend to have more opportunity, and at the same time your salary tend to increase lah. So there would be the positive correlation. So again, like I say just now, I always encourage all of you to keep with your momentum, at the same time keep motivate lah yourself to continue study at least until you finish your degree. Okay, for me, when we continue the study, this the best moment in my life, where you can go out with your friend, you can mingle with your friend, and this will be a very good memory for me. So I hope you didn't miss that moment. Even you already go with your diploma, maybe you will learn another new thing during your degree. Right. So again, thank you, Nadia, for Nadia Farhana Zulkhairi, for your good answer for this. Number of blood donor, number of blood packet. Yes, thank you, Nurin. More absent, lower grade. Yes, thank you, Snail, Busy Snail, Dayanku, Khairana. Our using social media, our procrastinating. Yes. This one can be the positive correlation. Yes, I agree. Okay. We need to know how to measure the procrastinating. So for this one, we can say the unit would be hour, both in hours. Yes. Speed of car, travel time. This is another good example from Muhammad Mahyuddin. Okay, the quicker you drive your car, you will reach your destination early lah. So there will be negative correlation. Okay, there is the difference when you drive 80 kilometer per hour with 120 kilometer per hour. Okay, in terms of calculation also we can prove that lah. Okay, another good situation from Mahyuddin. More water, more hydrated, positive correlation. Yes, that's another good situation also. Camellia, out of sleep, tiredness, negative correlation. Normally we when we have enough sleep, it will make you will gain more enough energy lah. So for this one, maybe it will look back at the context. Okay, Atifa, eat healthy food, healthy body. Okay, thank you, Atifa, for the situation given. Okay, so I can conclude that based on our activity today, so we can summarize that when we wanted to um, measure the correlation, the first thing, the most important thing you must know lah, which is independent and which is dependent variable. So normally we start with the independent variable lah, because the independent variable will be used to estimate what will happen to your dependent variable, which is y. That is the first thing. Another thing, both variables should be measurable. Means that they need to be a clear unit lah. For example, hours, time taken, speed. So this is the clear measurement, right? So we need to be clear lah about the measurement. This one I discussing more on the when you wanted to conduct a research lah. You need to consider the data set is appropriately used lah for the analysis. And yeah, we need to know also the category of your data lah, whether it's numerical, continuous, or is it ordinal or nominal. Okay, that one we will discuss more later in our slide after this. Again, I think I have another response from Coco. Less sugar help. Yeah, less sugar will increase your health. So when sugar is decreasing, your health is increasing. So there will be negative correlation. Thank you, Coco, for your response. I'm very appreciate all this response today. I think total we have 14 response. I hope the rest also still following. Maybe you just being an observer. I believe some of you still follow, but you are shy to write, or maybe you wanted to focus to another thing. But I hope you still here following me, and we will spend another, I think, half an hour focusing on the fundamental, and then after that we will do more activity lah. I hope I can stop before 4. But if you have any question, you can always ask me lah. All right. So let's continue with another slide. So let's move on with another slide. Let me make it full screen. Okay. Okay, just now I think everyone already discussed your opinion about the correlation between two variables. I believe everyone already clear about this situation. Okay, to measure the correlation between two variables, you must have two variables, independent and dependent. Okay, so to measure whether it is positive and negative, there is two approach. Okay, the one first way to see whether the relation between your variable, just now we take a study time and also your score in your exam. If we take that situation to see whether there is positive or negative relation, one way we can plot our data by using the scatter diagram. Okay, so later we can see in detail about this one. Another one by using the coefficient. Okay, we call it as linear correlation coefficient. And from this one, it can be categorized into two different methods. One is Pearson and another one is Spearman method. Yeah, later we will discuss more about these two method lah, whether which situation we need to use Pearson and in which situation you need to use the Spearman rank correlation coefficient, right? So for the first part, I think all this one we already covered based on our activity just now, and there's some part we already covered to the previous slide lah. So this one example of positive correlation. Okay, I take one situation from uh, one of you just now. You mentioned about the speed of sorry. I will take again the score of your examination and also time taken for you to study. Okay, we can see based on, let's say you have the data. When you plot your data, this is x and this is y, and you can see there is a clear pattern which is positive pattern. This one we call it as positive pattern, since when we increase the x here, okay, the y tend to increase. Okay, for example, if we increase x in 1 unit, okay, your y tend to increase 5 unit. So these are the changing from observation 1 and observation 2 lah. Okay, let's say observation 2 3, if we change, we increase another 1 unit in x, okay, they will increase another 5 unit in y. So this another example lah to illustrate the positive correlation. So when we draw our data set through the scatter plot, you will look some kind of this plot lah, okay, where there is positive relation between x and y. Same for the negative correlation. Okay, again for negative correlation, we know as x increase, your y will decrease. So in this case, we start with your first observation here. Okay, as your x here increase 1 unit, move to the second observation here. Okay, so your dependent variable actually here tend to decrease 20 unit. So it goes, this pattern goes to entire observation. Okay, let's say this is the first student, second student, third student, fourth student. Okay, let's say this first student only study, this one is 1 hour. Sorry, this one is not relevant if we wanted to use this situation. So let me check again the example of given. Let me check education level and work salary. Okay, I will take one example from Nadia Farhana. So I assume this is the situation. But we try to discuss negative, so I will take another example. Let me see for Ethan. Okay, so yeah, I will take this exercise and weight example. Okay, X is your time taken for you to do your exercise, and Y is your weight. I believe none of you, yeah, I think 100 is very heavy. But still, yeah, we can use this situation. So as you increase your time in exercise, let's say from 1 hour to 2 hours, you tend to reduce your weight from 100 to 80, 90, sorry, 19 here. If we draw the straight line, this might be 19. So you, this relation between X and Y, we can call it as negative relation. So this is another example of negative correlation when we wanted to draw using the scatter plot. right? So I think there is another example for strong positive correlation. It will look like this. This one is strong negative correlation. It looks like this. Still, there is clear trend between X and Y. It's not perfect like the first part that I show here, but still this one can be considered as negative correlation. And then this again, this is positive correlation for slide E, but we can say this is weak correlation since the relation between X and Y here start to show no clear trend. At the same time, there is some deviation between your X and every observation here. But still, this is the positive correlation. If we draw, and then this is another example for weak negative correlation. Okay. And what if there is no correlation? Okay, so this is the situation where there is no correlation between X and Y. It can be illustrated by this plot lah. Okay, so can you give any example of no correlation? Okay, I can give you one example lah. For example, we wanted to measure the sale of ice cream with the uh, let me think one another clear example. Okay, moon phase. Okay, let's say moon phase we have here from 1 until 30, right? Every month we have 30 phase of moon. Okay, 15 is full moon, and then when we go back to 30 or 1, you there is no moon lah. There is no clear moon that we can see. Is there any relation between moon phase with the sale of ice cream? Do you think is there any correlation? For example, this is the first day. Today is 22. Okay, so when we look at the moon, 22. Let me check. Is there any clear visualization? Yeah, so I can show you. Okay, so this is another situation. I try to illustrate to you for no correlation situation. Okay, the situation is there X would be our moon phase. Okay, it can be full moon, waxing gibbous, first quarter, new moon, third quarter. Okay, so this phase is based on the day that we have lah. Okay. Normally, 15 will be full moon, and one or end of the month will be new moon lah, where we cannot see any moon here. But we wanted to, let's say we take the situation, is there any relation between phase of moon with the sale of ice cream? Do you think is there any relation with this? So the answer, we can say there is no clear relation between moon with the moon phase with the sale of ice cream. Okay, let's see. We try to plot our data. Okay, this is first day, and then this 15th day. And sale of ice cream is not related to this the full moon phase lah. So if this happen, so we can say there is no correlation between your X and Y. Okay, for example, we take for first, fourth, and this will be 8. Okay, the sale of ice cream tend to be the same lah. On average would be around 20. Sometimes it's very high here. So if there is a situation, and if we look at the plot, this plot show that there is no clear correlation between your x and y. Okay, so this is the example of no correlation. Um, this is another example of no clear correlation between x and y. Sometimes there is positive, a negative correlation, and then after it's reached 5, there is positive correlation. So if there is mixed pattern in the plot, okay, it indicate there is no correlation in the variable x and y lah. Okay, again, this situation we can use, you can think about that lah. What is the correlation, this situation? Maybe we can do another exercise. Can you, I just wanted to know your opinion or your critical thinking skill. What do you think of the situation where there is no clear correlation between your x variable and y variable? Can you give one situation where there is no correlation between x and y? Just now I give you already the sale of ice cream with the moon face. How about the rest? For this, yeah, thank you, Mahyudin. Yeah, you can write on the text board here. Shoe size and IQ. Thank you. I think this is another good example. We know that the shoe size is not related with your IQ. Some of people have very small shoe size, but it's not directly affect your IQ. Birth month and height. Yeah, there's another good situation. Okay, where this is the situation, no clear correlation between x and y. Thank you again, Noreen, Batrisha, and also Mahyudin. I think you give a very good situation to explain about the relation between x and y. And now we talk about no clear correlation between x and y. Okay, because there's some event or situation, there is no clear correlation between x and y. Okay, so I hope the rest you, maybe you can learn something from here, but maybe you don't have idea yet. But I hope you're still with me, because I think we have several parts I wanted to cover with you guys. Okay, so this is example how we can see the correlation between x and y through the scatter diagram. So the way we wanted to do that, okay, we can take this example. Okay, in this example, we wanted to show, we wanted to see the relation between your score, between your subject finance and also mathematics for 7 students in faculty. Okay, means that your first student is getting 62 for finance and 40 for mathematics. Second student get 65 and 55, 65 for finance and 55 for mathematics in terms of score. And for all the 7 students is shown in this table. So to plot this scatter plot, I think this one is very direct or straight to the point. You can just take 1 point for x and 1 point from y, and then you can put 1 dot here. Okay, let's say we take the first student, 62 for finance, mathematics 40. So mathematics, this is different. 62 and 40. So x 62 and y mathematics is 40. Okay, so for entire student here, for all the students here, we can see and we can conclude that there is positive relation between the mathematics score with the finance subject lah. Okay, the better understandable you in the mathematics subject, it will affect your understanding in finance also lah. So there is clear positive relation between your subject X, independent variable, and Y variable. Okay, so there is strong positive linear relationship between finance and mathematics. So this one you can try yourself. Try to do the scatter plot. Okay, but still, there is some situation. If I go back to this scatter plot, okay, even scatter plot can be used to measure the relation between X and Y or measure the correlation. But sometimes it's very hard to measure that, especially if there is no clear pattern between your X and Y. For example, like this. Okay. Yes, maybe you can say there is no correlation, but we still wanted to measure that correlation based on these two data. So to answer that, the solution to that, for no clear pattern in your X and Y, you still need to apply the linear correlation coefficient, which is the second part in the method that we can use to determine the strength of the relationship between your X and Y. Okay, so this why we need a formula to calculate for us the measurement for correlation. Okay, but in linear correlation coefficient, there is two methods that you can use. Okay, the first method, we call it as Pearson product moment correlation coefficient. And second method is Spearman rank correlation coefficient. Okay, so to summarize the difference between Pearson and Spearman here, I already put in this table. You can refer to this table. Let's see the comparison between Pearson and Spearman. Okay, so normally we use Pearson if your data set is quantitative. Okay, for example, like this, finance and mathematics score. This one we call it as quantitative data set. Okay, so if your data set following the quantitative variable or your behavior of your data set is following the numerical or quantitative variable, or your measurement is continuous, we need to use Pearson method to calculate your correlation. But for the cases, if your data set is qualitative means that maybe your data set is categorical or ordinal or ranked data set. So you need to use Spearman rank correlation. Okay, maybe some of you first time hear about categorical data set, ordinal data set. Okay, one example I can give you a categorical data set. Normally we have in survey. Okay, I think maybe some of you already, if you already answer some of survey, you can see the option that you can have here. Either you totally agree or disagree or natural. Okay, normally we have 5 different category lah. Okay, this is example of qualitative data set. And ordinal, we focus on order lah. For example, like just now, if the question asks you type of program that you enroll, okay, the answer can be either SPM, diploma, degree, master. So this is another ordinal type of rank data. So if your data under this category, so you need to use Spearman correlation. But if your data under numerical or continuous variable, you need to use the Pearson data set. But for now, I think you just need to know how to conduct all these two methods. All right. I think the most important part I wanted to discuss about the application of Pearson and also Spearman. Normally we use Pearson for where your data set can have the distribution lah. And Spearman if your data set following the non-parametric distribution. I think this one you can explore more about this. Um, Maybe we can just focus on how we can apply these two methods, Pearson and Spearman method. Right. So let's discuss in more detail about the Pearson. Okay, Pearson we used to make again to if we cannot see clear pattern in your scatter plot, we need to use Pearson or Spearman. Again, for Pearson, normally we use for continuous data, and the function is to measure the strength of two relationship between two quantitative variable. Okay, the keyword is quantitative variable. And for Spearman, we use for qualitative variable. All right, so let's see how we can measure the strength and the direction of the correlation coefficient. Again, the range for both method is between -1 and 1. Okay, same for Spearman and also Pearson. Okay, let's say if you need to answer the relationship between X and Y, and if the question is objective question, so make sure first you must know lah, yeah, the range for Pearson and Spearman coefficient should be lying between -1 and 1. Okay, it cannot be more than that. It cannot be 2, 3, 1.5. All right. So let's see another explanation about the strength and the direction of correlation. Okay, for the perfect negative correlation, it should be less than 0, which is negative lah. And for perfect positive for the positive correlation, it should be more than 0. And then if your Pearson or Spearman, this is Pearson or Spearman, not dividing R and P. If the coefficient is less than -0.7, we can say it's strong negative correlation. And if it's more than 0.7, we can say that's strong positive correlation. Right? So the rest, I think you can go through on your own and you can memorize this part. And we know also in Pearson for the sign negative or positive, indicating whether your correlation is negative or positive. And based on this magnitude, it describes the strength of the relation. All right. So before we go with the activity, here is the formula for Spearman. This is the formula for Pearson correlation. Okay, we use R. R equal to summation xi minus summation x summation y divided with n. Before that, I think I wanted to show with you. Okay. Maybe when you look at this slide, you will feel intimidating. But when you observe this formula, you can realize something is very understandable in terms of the pattern when we wanted to calculate the correlation coefficient. So actually the formula is derived from this relation. Okay, the relation between your covariant x and y, we divide with the standard deviation of your x and also your standard deviation of your y. Again, covariant here representing what will happen to y if there is changes in x, and same to what will happen to x when there is changes in y. Same thing that when we look at the relation between two variables. So what happened will x increase, what happened to y? But this time for the covariant, we can see the inverse relation between x and y. But still, to calculate the correlation, okay, we need to divide the covariant between x and y with the standard deviation of x multiply with standard deviation of y. This is the fundamental of pattern that we try to measure lah in the correlation coefficient for Pearson correlation. From here, after we do some, this is the formula for covariance between x and y. After we moving n minus 1 here, okay, we can do some adjustment in some, we can expand the formula, and finally you will get this formula lah to compute the Pearson correlation, right? I will not go in detail with all this formula, but you just need to know lah the relation between uh, formula of correlation coefficient under Pearson method is actually dividing the relation between covariance x and y with standard deviation x and y. Okay, so next, let's see how we can apply this formula. But before that, I think since we already discussed about Pearson and about the Pearson and also Spearman, this is another um formula for Spearman. Just now it Pearson, this is Spearman. Okay, for Spearman correlation, we need to use this formula. Okay, this is rho equal to 1 minus 6 summation of di square divided with n multiplied with n square minus 1. Di here representing the difference between the lengths. Okay, this is one example lah. If your correlation is close to -1, we can say that is strong negative. But if your correlation is close to 1, that is strong positive. Okay, so I think that's conclude all of our fundamental concept that you need to know in the correlation. Okay, again, before we do with this one, yeah, I think we can try to do this example. I think again, this is the example from the previous scatter plot lah. Okay, so this, we wanted to see the relation between the finance subject and also mathematics. Is there any relation between this score of these two subjects for 7 students? Okay, from this table, it shows the test score for finance and mathematics test for 7 students in a faculty. Just now we already do the plotting. I think we know already there is positive relation between mathematics and finance. But this time, instead of just looking at the scatter diagram, so can you calculate the Pearson and Spearman for this data using the given formula? Okay, the given formula for Pearson is given here. Is the formula that you need to use, and for the Spearman, you can use this formula. So we use this data set. So before I give you the answer, can you try to calculate Pearson and also Spearman for by using this data set, finance and mathematics. And at the same time, I already give you another additional information. But this one, I think you can also calculate yourself, especially for the summation of x, summation of y. You must know how to do that in your calculator. I believe we already do this during your SPM, kan? We learn how to coding the data in your calculator function. And from there, you can calculate what is the summation of x squared, summation of y squared, and summation of x and y. Okay, I give you 5 minutes. Can you try to calculate? We focus on the first part. Can you calculate the Pearson correlation for this data set? So for Pearson, you need to use this formula. to easy see the two formula. I'm not sure you have received this slide or not, but I just put it here lah, the formula for Pearson and also Spearman. Okay, so before I we discuss the answer, can you try apply Pearson formula, and can let's see whether you can get the answer. And for Pearson formula, and let's see whether you can get the answer or not. Okay, so I will give you 5 minutes enough. So I give you 5 minutes. Try to do the calculation for Pearson and also the Spearman. After that, we going to discuss that lah, after I receive the first response from you. So for those who already have the answer, please write on the text box your answer. What is the R and also what is the row presenting your spearmint. Nabiha, yeah. Do you have any question? I see some student raising your hand. I hope everyone's still with me and you can hear, you can see my screen and also hear my voice. Is there any question? So I give you 5 minutes. Apply row formula and Spearman formula. And before we discuss in detail, I wanted to see lah whether you can get or not. I think for Pearson, shouldn't have big problem lah to answer this part. Only the Spearman, maybe you need to understand some concept in DI here. But still, you can try first before I will go in detail. All right, so I will come back 5 minutes. So I hope I can see answer from you. If you can get the answer, you can write here lah. What is your Pearson and what is your row? I just use P lah. Okay, I will wait for the first student who can answer this by using this given data set lah. Okay. So we will resume at 3:58. So I give you 3 minutes. Try to answer this. Test, test. Can you hear me? Can I see some response? Can you give some? Can you raise your hand so that I know everyone's still here? Okay, thank you, Auni, Inshira. How about the rest? You guys still here? Nurin. Okay, thank you, Auni, Maizatu, Nurin, Muhammad Mahyudin, Alia, Nuliana, Dawia, Nuliana. The rest, I hope you still here and try to do the same activity with us. Okay, thank you for all the response. Pearson, 0.98, Spearman, Adam Arshad. Let me check. 0.98, Spearman. Yes, I think Adam Arshad again give correct answer. So everyone please give some round of applause to Adam Arshad for responding correct way. Giving the correct answer here lah. I try to see where is the applause. Oh, send a reaction. Okay, so please give round of applause to Adam Arshad and also Camelia. Camelia give more detail about the decimal place lah. 0.9807. Alright, Dayanku get the same answer. Okay, congratulations everyone for those who can get the answer. So let me check first. Is there any solution I can share with you? Okay, thank you again, Adam, Camilla, and Dayanku. I hope the rest also can get the same answer. Okay, for Pearson, let me connect this. Okay, let me write again the formula for Pearson, summation of x, y, minus summation of x, summation of y, divide with number of sample. Here we have 7. And we square root that, and we find summation of x squared minus with summation of x, and summation of okay, so we're going to use this formula. Check. Let me open first the slide. Okay, to calculate R, we're going to use this formula. So we just need to substitute all this value from the table given. So since I already give you the answer for summation of x, summation of, let me write, summation of x, summation of y, summation of x squared, summation of y squared, summation of y. So your task is just to substitute all that value in this formula, and you get 0.9807 for Pearson. And for the spearmint, we got 1.0. I think this part needs our attention to discuss this. So for the Pearson, let me take the formula first. So I just write it here. I write it again for Pearson. So for spearmint, this is the formula, summation of everything. This one we need to minus with 1, 6, summation of di square divide with n minus 1. Okay, so from our data, here, we need to find the rank for x and y. So in this case, finance is rank number 1, 55 rank number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I think based on this situation data set, all the value already ranked in the order, in increasing order. So no need for you uh, to think or to to sort it hardly lah. So it's very easy because this one is already sorted according to the lowest and the highest. But in some cases, there is situation given to you where uh, the data is not ranked according to uh, lower to higher lah. So if that is the case, maybe let's say I put this one 80, actually is 65, and this one is 80. So if that is the cases, your rank will be 4 here and 2 here. Okay, so this is how we determine our rank, but we just use this case, so I don't want to confuse you. So this rank already sort according to the lowest to highest now. Okay, so next, to calculate what is the D, okay, so we see the difference between your rank X and also rank Y. So D, so actually the difference between your Xi and Yi. So for your D1, actually equal to 0 lah, since 1 minus 1 equal to, same for this one, 2 minus 2 equal to 0. Since all this rank already following the same order, uh, we can see lah, 3 minus 3, 4 minus 4. So all this will give you 0. And we can say that summation for your DI also equal to 0. I think you will be given more suitable data set to calculate this one later. Um, but this is the process how we can calculate the D, or the difference between X and Y, after you rank your variable X and also variable Y. Okay, so the most important part is to getting what is the value for your DI square here, because we need to use this value to calculate what is your Spearman correlation. Okay, so in this case, 1 minus 6, summation of DI, just now we get 0, and n equal to 7, and 7 square minus 1. Okay, since 6 multiplied with 0 always give you 0, so entire part of this one would be equal to 0. So this is how we get your Spearman correlation equal to 0. Right? I think, let me see, is there any example I can share with you? Okay, for Spearman correlation, I can give you another example. So let's say this is X and this is Y. Your X here is 12, 15, 17, 18, 21, 22, and 26. And your dependent variable is 14, 25, 20, 35, 45, 50, 60, and 95. Okay, so based on these two data set, let's say we still not sure what is the correlation between X and Y, but based on observation here, we know there is positive relation between X and Y. If I draw the scatter plot, okay, the relation might be look like this, because 12 is 14 and 26 is 95. So based on these two value, I can say there is positive correlation, but we still need one measurement that can accurately represent the relation between X and Y. So in that case, we use Spearman correlation method, because I think just now the example is not really challenging. Okay, this time to calculate by using the Spearman correlation, okay, we need to use this formula. Let me write it again. For Spearman correlation, formula 1 minus 6 summation of di square divided with n square minus 1. So we're going to use this formula. So before that, again, the first step, you need to find what is the rank. Second, the D lah itself, the difference between X and Y. So in this case, the rank for X, I think this one already ranked from lowest to highest lah. So you just need to check again. And rank for Y, there is some mixing pattern. It's not following from lowest to the highest. So for rank Y here, this is the lowest, 14, and then the second lowest is 20 here. Third lowest is 25. Fourth lowest is 30. And then next would be 35. 45 is rank number 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so there is some mixing pattern. This time, the rank is not from lower to higher. Okay, so for this one, it's very crucial for you. You must do it carefully lah. Make sure the rank is ordered correctly. Okay, you need to double check. Okay, let's check again. 14 is 1. 20 second highest. 25. 30. Alright, so all this is correct. So next you need to calculate what is the difference between X and Y. So the difference for every I here. So 1 minus 1, 2 minus 3, 0, negative 1. Okay, so I just write it here. 1, negative 1. Okay. So the difference between X and Y here, we find the summation. It will be equal to so we need to take square for all this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 square equal to 4. Okay, equal to 8. Okay, based on this formula, we just substitute all the value. You will get 1 minus 6 multiply with 8 n equal to 8, that's square minus 1. So we get 0.90. Right. So for this given data set, the correlation between x and y using the Spearman correlation method is 0.90, right? So we can say there is strong positive correlation between x and y. All right. So is there any question regarding the Spearman correlation? I think let me stop this. Okay, I think we already covered the important part in this subject. Uh, so let me share again my. Just now I opened using my tab. Okay, so I think that's all for my sharing today. Is there any question before we end our session? Uh, I believe some of you already understand the fundamental part lah, because based on the question given, you able to understand, give the correct answer lah. Okay, I think there is no question from you. So for that, I think that's end of my sharing today. So, but before I share my before I stop my sharing, I wanted to uh, share with you this quote. Okay, I believe some of you will prepare for your exam, so I hope this quote will give you some motivation on how uh, to success. Okay, in your exam, right? Again, success is the result of good preparation and hard work, and learning from the failure. Okay, so I hope this can give some motivation to you. Um, to achieve the success in our life is not a simple thing to do. You must do some hard work and some preparation so that you can gain some experience and also knowledge lah, from whatever that you did. For that, I think I hope my sharing today can give some some you can gain some beneficial thing during my sharing today. Um, I hope everyone here can achieve good result in your examination this semester and also in the future. All right. So I think that's all for me today.